completely off. Yeah, it closed completely on me. It said that I had gotten flagged and it completely shut down. So I'm coming back on the phone. It said I got flagged for bullying and harassment and it shut me off of Live Studio completely and closed me out of Live Studio. So I have to come back on my phone. That was wild work. Because I was talking to you guys and all of a sudden, bam, just gone. And I was like, can you guys hear me?
People are fucking so annoying, man.
Yes, that was so annoying. She dropped and I'm like, what happened to her? And then it
Yeah, we
said
all
you're
dropped. I
flagged for
think it was
bullying
like,
and harassment.
yeah, we all. I got kicked too, and I'm like, oh man, don't tell me she got nannered. But
Yeah, they kicked me completely out of studio, completely. Like almost like I got banned. And I come over here to my phone and click the live button and it's fine.
Hey, Dora, sorry, I was tapping like a maniac over here and hit a box.
People are
Yeah,
the
it was,
worst.
well, it just absolutely like, it just shut me completely, closed studio out altogether. Like it literally, yeah, it just went out. And I'm like, I know you're not trying to like report us. No.
dude, I gotta talk to you offline. There's this one chick out here, and she's doing the most. She's like Team Ashley, and she's like literally like has her own podcast channel and saying how like fucking
If anybody for a second believes that Ashley Buzzard is innocent, they're wild.
yeah, they're saying why? How can we not? How like imagine having to tell the government where your children are and shit like that? Like it's fucking wild.
Is
I mean,
she
are we
okay?
outing?
Or what?
I said, are we outing the name? Because I would like to.
Yeah, go ahead, because I can't fucking remember her name, or else I would.
It's Bullhorn Betty.
Bullhorn Betty, yeah, dude,
Yeah.
look up her videos. You're gonna be
You
gross.
just scream her name. Don't hide it.
And she's screaming that Ashley's innocent.
Oh, yeah, the Ashley has rights as a mother. She doesn't have to tell us where her child is. Like,
When you take her on a road trip and come back without her, yes, you do.
and when the school is, that's the thing that's bothering me, is when the school is saying that she is missing, like that. Think about it. I don't know how many of you guys have kids in the comments, but like, if my kid doesn't go to school for so long, they're like, even if he's sick for a week, like they're sending letters like, yo, you better bring his ass back to school right now.
Or you could even go to court for truancy.
Yeah.
Like they will send you those letters and they will wonder why your child has not showed up at school.
Apparently not in Cali.
Like that's wild for anybody to say that she doesn't owe people where her child is. When you go on a long road trip with the child and come back without her, yes, you do. Like, are you okay?
Yeah, well, we're learning California laws are a lot different than everywhere else because it's not illegal to not produce a child, sadly.
Yeah, but it is illegal for a child not to go to school. For you not, it's literally, you have got to have them in either a
School,
homeschooling program.
enrolled.
Yes,
Right.
you have got to. That is a law across the
There was a
United
lady
States.
that did not enroll her child one time, and I think it was in Arkansas, and she didn't enroll her child. Well, they come up searching for the kids that were supposed to be enrolled. They get there to the property, and this mother had him covered in feces.
Oh my god.
He was unalived.
Wow.
And they arrested her. Like, you have to enroll your child in school because they're going to ask those questions. They go off of a database
Right.
of how many children are allegedly old enough to be enrolled.
Yeah, so I commend the school system because they're the ones that alerted the authorities on the 14th that she was not enrolled properly and she didn't pick up her assignments. I don't know from there what Ashley said to not have anything criminal being filed against her.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like, where is your child? Thank you, Chef, for the heart me. Um, where is your child? And my biggest thing with her is why? Why is she not cooperating? And why is the authorities not questioning that?
Dora, I'm going to show you the location that I was looking at in Utah, just so you have an idea of what this path looks like. Bear with me 1 second, just so
Okay,
you know.
I'm going to pull it up. I'm about to start posting in every group from Utah to Nebraska.
All right, so this is Green River.
Look at that roadway right there.
There's nowhere.
Thank you, Southern. We do have doubles for the next hour, guys, on Live Fest, and we're 120 points away from top 200.
It's the middle of
We're back.
nowhere. Not to mention this was on her way back home. So it's not like her intent was to drive from Cali to Utah. No. She drove from Cali through wherever she went through, made it to Nebraska, and then on her return trip was like, "Oh, Utah looks good. This is where we're going to drop her off."
Yes, that's what I'm saying. What occurred in that Utah vicinity that thank you, Unicorn Chef, where in this vicinity is this child?
There's nowhere for a child to be. I mean, there's nowhere for people to be in
It
most of
dang sure
this.
ain't no zoo or no fun place for a child to be.
Yeah, but if you've basically groomed this child to be dependent on you, to essentially think that she has like a disability, and then just to drop her off at a family in the middle of nowhere,
Thank you,
that to me
Unicorn.
is sinister.
Well, the thing to me is that she doesn't seem like she trusts a lot of people at all. So, like, why would
Right.
she hand her child over to someone she does not know? It does not
Correct.
seem like that is something that she would do.
Like, what is really going on here? Look at
Yeah.
that road and look at how many people and look at that area. Like, girl, are you okay?
Yeah.
Hey Dora and chat and panel. Karina says thank you very much. She had to run anyway. She has her children to attend to. She will be listening, and I just told her we'll definitely do this again at a more. I literally just messaged her, and she's like, "Yeah, I do have a little bit of time, but I will definitely do this. We'll definitely do it more more scheduled, and maybe get her back." But I told her
Thank you, guys.
you're awesome, and feel comfortable coming in at any time. So she says thank you
Absolutely.
guys. She says thank you very much for everything you guys are doing, and she's actually going to try to make it out on Thursday herself.
Yes.
So,
I
and
think
again,
that
from me to you, thank you. Shut up, my dogs. From me to you, thank you very much for doing that. I appreciate you. I'm sorry that they always want to silence us every time we're doing something well.
Oh, they do. They want to silence everything that we're doing right
I
now.
literally lost my gifting privilege because I was on the same topic. Like, it's wild.
That's wild. That is wild. And I'm sorry that they do it to you too. It's ridiculous, to be honest.
No, it's fine. I mean, listen, I do this for the passion, and I mean, if I cared about the $7, I would, I wouldn't be living where I'm living right now.
Facts. It's like, do you really, it's wild to me. Thank you guys so much. We are 120 points away from top 200 in Live Fest.
I want to know what Ashley is shopping for. She doesn't leave the house.
Right? Where'd she get all this money to live?
That's what I'm saying. Where's the money? We did report her, and I think the more people that report her to Social Security for getting these benefits, I think the better.
Is she still actively getting the benefits?
Allegedly, we won't know, but I reported her immediately to the survivor benefits.
And is Ashley got a heavy presence on social media?
No, she's silent.
Dora, when I tell you she is the polar opposite of Courtney, like, dude, I'm ready to tell her some dark secrets because I know she won't tell anybody, for fuck's sakes. Like, this lady do not.
So she's
break.
like, she's not participating in shit.
No, man. Like, I want to play poker with her.
She's very cold and calculated. Like, there's something sinister with this, and it just red flags everywhere.
Has anybody dug into maybe associates of hers?
She has none.
None?
Besides her mom, and her mom's not assisting. I guess Karina told us last time her mom's not really helping, right? She wasn't responsive.
Put it this way: the only person who actually came into the picture ended up fucking putting imprisonment charges on her.
Thank you,
And I was
Jessica.
in court. I was honored to have the privilege to be in that courtroom that day via Zoom. And I tell you, when you see how even like this Tyler Brewer, like literally like
Where did he come from?
good question, but hold on, I gotta get my dog. Ellis, do you mind?
Yeah, I'll say it. So Tyler, she met outside of court back, I think, in 2016, allegedly, when she was with Melody. So they were somewhat in, like, they've connected before, and I guess he reached out to assist her with this. I don't know in which way he assisted her, but she ended up locking him in her house, allegedly, and he filed false imprisonment charges on her.
Jessica.
But the best part is she had everything recorded, so the charges were essentially dropped because there was no evidence of him being held against his will. But she's very calculated in that conversation. I don't know if you've heard it.
So let me ask, like, is she really? Now I've got questions. Even more with her calculation of how she's been lately. Where is her mother? Where is the grandmother? Where is?
She's not helping, allegedly. She's not helping Karina. Last time I think she said she saw her was a year ago. I could be wrong. But her mother actually ran away in a similar situation where they up and left, and Ashley was in fear of her life with her mother back in.
They were living in homeless shelters for her childhood.
So Ashley essentially doesn't really have connections to people surrounding.
That we know of.
I mean, we know that the neighbors said that she's very to herself. She doesn't let Melody play with other kids.
So she's okay. I'm looking on social media and I'm trying to find, does she have a book of faces or
We do have older pictures of her. She lost a lot of weight. But I don't think we found an actual Facebook, have we, LS? Like we thought that Crozier or whatever was her, but ended
No.
up being.
And can we not pressure police to get her in there for a polygraph?
In the state of Cali, they do things differently.
Yeah, they like California has crazy laws. We've had 2 cases back to back, and their laws are crazy. Oz had just looked up the punishment for a child missing school, and they're trying to get more on parents not criminally punished. But it did say that they could legally court order a child to go to school.
But can a parent be charged if they pull their kid out of school?
It's against the law in New York or in California. So, but I don't know.
Let's not forget too, Dora. I don't know if you've been told or not. She's actually her house has been like searched by the 3-letter agency and the state and everything.
Twice.
Well, she's calculated. She's not leaving nothing behind. She's not going to leave nothing for them to even charge her with, because look at how calculated she is with this shit.
Yeah, and Tyler, the guy that she reconnected with, is a legal documentation preparer or whatever that means. Basically, he could prep documents for custody, for divorce, for marriage. So he reached out to help her. We don't know what that help entailed and what type of documents or whatever services she needed. But in that recording,
And when did she
say,
reach out to him?
I need to pay you. I'm not sure. Was it November? October?
He was going for a couple weeks to her house.
Between October and November. It's like the end of October, early November.
So right around the same time she's going missing.
It was after.
The last time she was seen was October 9th. Then she got back from her road trip on October 10th.
And Tyler was arrested when? Like, I want to say close to Halloween.
Thank you, Buffy. Yeah.
No, it was more
Not
November.
Tyler, Ashley.
Yeah, it was more November after Halloween, but right after, because we picked up the Rebecca case on the 16th because we were at a standstill. We were like, what the hell is going on here?
She was arrested November 7th.
Okay.
Right. So, and I'm looking here. I've got it up again on the map of where we're looking at. And even if you're looking, thank you, Moonbeam. If you're looking at the Utah area junction area, that's where the purple haired girl came in at, right? Like somebody reportedly to seen her with a purple haired girl.
Yeah, that was on the 9th.
If you look at Junction, Junction is nothing.
Nothing.
Literally nothing. Oz, thank you so much. Nothing. And how in the hell did she know somebody from this area? Is there any type of connection that we could possibly see on a presence of social media anywhere where there's somebody connected to this area?
No, we would have seen it by now. There's nothing. I think the purple haired girl came from Green River because Junction is literally 80 people. And if it's a
Thank you,
Mormon
guys.
area, they're not walking around with purple hair.
Right.
So, wait, was Melody last seen in Junction or Green River?
So
Green
we had it
River.
flipped. It was Green River, and then Junction is the
The
gas
purple hair.
station, the
Okay.
purple
Right.
hair.
So
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. When she traveled to Green River, that's the last known sighting of Melody. And then 2 hours south of that is Junction. So then reports from there show Melody not with her, and the purple haired lady comes in. So something happened in Green River.
Well, or at least on that 2-hour drive.
Yes.
Yeah.
Along the Green River or 2 hour drive before she stopped at Junction.
In the
And
middle of nowhere.
right. And if you think about it, like Mormon communities like that are they're polygamous. They're like, very culty. I just like if someone convinced her, like, hey, I'll hang on to your kid, you can come back and get her. And then now all of a sudden she's gone. Like she can't get a hold of them.
There's like only 10 families there. I feel like she could easily go to these houses and get the kid if that were the case. But I don't think to me, it's sinister
Even
what
the
she did
PI
there.
So
though
along
is
the drive, I'm looking here and I'm seeing a Fish Lake National Forest. And that national forest in Fish Lake, there's Monroe Peak. There's also Glenwood Mountain and Fish Lake National Forest that is right there along the drive. Thank you, amazing. It is right beside the interstate that she would have traveled from Green River to Junction. And
Unless that purple hair was Ashley, I mean, Melody, it doesn't make sense where she would have found that girl.
Hey, you guys, I got 2 hungry boys to feed. I'll be back in a bit. Thank you.
okay, Chef, thank you, honey. I just don't understand that she, coming back from the Green River area all the way down to this Junction place. Literally, if you look alongside this route, it's odd.
Yeah.
And do you guys know if she traveled this same direction going to there?
No, this was a complete different route home because she went through Rancho Cucamonga, which was out of her way.
Odd. So Melody's last seen here. Ashley travels back south, which would have been 70 and around to, and the closest place off of 70 from this direction, as far as like a city, is Whip Up and Hillgard Mountain. And there's also on the right side of the road, there's a Manti La Salle National Forest. There's 3 national forests right along this route.
And tell me what a girl that doesn't drive, doesn't ever leave her house, what she would have to do there.
Right. Who was there? And
why
what
did
was
she make
there?
it to Nebraska first, right? Wasn't it as far as Nebraska snaps? And then she dropped her off on the way back in Utah.
Right. And then changed her license plates, I believe, in Nebraska.
Her plate was changed on the 8th. Yep. So that was Nebraska. And then on the way back, the 9th is when we last see Melody.
Who
Right.
is funding this trip?
Not Social Security, I'll tell you that.
No way.
Not when she's got bills.
There's no way. And she's living in California. California rent is expensive.
We
I
know
think
she
she
has
was
help.
on assistance, though.
Yeah, she definitely has like some sort of assistance. To me, after hearing her recording with Tyler, she
Thank
should
you,
be a
guys.
lawyer. I don't know why she's not working. Her skills aren't being used appropriately, but she is very cold, calculated, and this lady is very able-bodied, in my opinion.
Has Dora heard the interview with, or the thing with Tyler? Have you
No.
guys played that?
No, not the
No.
recording.
You should. I'm making dinner right now, but I can after that.
Yeah, I would love to hear it. I haven't heard it because, see, I just started diving into Melody's case.
Oh, you're in for a wild ride.
Thank you, Jessica. This is wild. She's more intelligent and calculated. Exactly, Oz.
Yeah,
I
wait
don't
till you
feel
hear her
that this
talk.
woman just planned this and just randomly showed up on a road. What would a child need to be doing in this particular area?
I have the recording if you're ready. Or
Yeah, please.
Absolutely, please play it. I would love to hear this.
Newly released audio from the courtroom a day after Ashley Buzzard's criminal case was dismissed. I'm Crystal Bermudez, your Lompoc community reporter, and I've obtained a copy of the recording used in the courtroom Thursday that the judge cited played a factor in his ruling. Authorities say it's a case that's unrelated to the nationwide search of her missing 9-year-old daughter, Melody.
I can't trust you when you're lying. You're flat out lying. You're a really good liar. Like, Tyler.
The nearly 6-minute long recording was taken by Ashley Buzzard on November 6th. It's the last time freelance paralegal and legal document assistant Tyler Brewer says he was at her home.
Tyler, just be quiet and listen. Please look at me. Like, I'm an intelligent woman. I'm 40 years old.
Buzzard was arrested a day after that recording. Brewer told authorities there was a box cutter in the room he was sitting in with Buzzard, and he felt she was preventing him from leaving the home. He testified he didn't know the conversation was being recorded.
I'm not trying to be disrespectful, and you need a reality check. If this is on media news, like news talk shows, they're going to be seeing you, they're going to be interested in you. You have to understand that I'm aware, whether you want to admit it or not, you want the attention.
I don't want attention. Brewer says he first met Buzzard back in 2014 and reached out to her recently offering his help. He testified that he visited Buzzard's home approximately 5 times between November 1st and 6th.
What you're doing is false advertisement, and there are real legal ramifications. I don't know how you honestly are not worried about being put in jail.
Tyler is heard requesting to leave twice during the recording.
I want to leave at this moment. Since you're leaving in an uncomfortable way, I want the keys to my house and the storage. Right there. Nobody else has keys, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. In the judge's ruling, he noted nothing was said in the recording that kept Brewer from leaving, adding that evidence presented in court didn't meet the requirements for the felony charge of false imprisonment. Brewer testified Buzzard's body language that evening told a different story. He told me he does not have a comment related to the charge against Buzzard being dismissed. As for the ongoing investigation involving her missing daughter, Melody, investigators have not released any new information.
that's it. But isn't that wild?
Do you hear her in that?
Yeah. And the fact that she says you could go to jail, there's ramifications for it. Like, what is she talking about?
Exactly. And do you hear her say, "Stop it, I'm an intelligent woman"?
I mean, she is. I'll give her that for recording that. She knew she was going to walk.
That is freaking wild.
Yeah, it's insane.
Has she done an interview?
No.
Because I'm
She
not
won't look
seeing
at
one.
You
you.
won't say shit,
No.
Dora.
She is keeping her mouth shut.
And they're not demanding her to talk or trying to pressure her to get her in there for a polygraph?
No.
She
Thank
shuts
you,
the
Lady
door and
Mayor. Why can we not get her in for a polygraph?
Nothing's illegal that she's done. You don't have to produce your child in California. The
Thank you,
CPS gave her a
Jackson.
72-hour window to produce a child. Nothing ever happened of it.
Are they out of their fucking mind?
Right.
You know, we were covering this and we were like, F California, the laws are wild. And then the Michigan case rolled in and we're like, wow, we'll take everything back that we've ever said about Cali. But now back to this, it's like the laws here really are flexible, like, and they're in favor of
This
bad
is not
parents.
right. If you take your child on a daggone road trip to the middle of damn nowhere and come back without her, yes, that is questionable.
Yeah.
that's why this protest is so important. We need pressure on her.
Yes. So if anybody lives in the vicinity of, I keep getting it messed up, Provac.
Crystal said she's actually done nothing wrong to be arrested. I mean, taking your child on just to like morally, like not producing your child after people are like looking for her.
Her family at that and secluding her, the alienation that Karina had to endure
Yes.
her whole life. Like, I'm sorry, there's a lot wrong with this, Crystal.
Yes.
Right. I mean, look at Lori Daybell. She did the same thing. Look at where her kids ended
Yeah, but
up.
this child is missing and you come back without her. How do I get this off my damn screen? You got her going to the middle of Utah with nobody, nothing, with this child, and coming back without this child, and she's reported missing. You damn right I got questions.
Right. And a child who allegedly has the disability where you weren't allowing her to interact with people. Now you're just leaving her with a
Thank you,
random. Like,
guys.
it doesn't make sense.
You're leaving him with a random stranger because allegedly she dropped her off with a stranger. How in the hell is that not warranted for grounds of what'd you do with your child?
That's best case scenario.
They'll
That's what
search
we
her
hope.
house, but they won't like demand her to bring her like to show where her child is. Just if she's okay, that's fine. Like
if she's fine, this case could be solved by her saying, okay, I dropped him off to so-and-so on this day. This so-and-so has my child.
And let's not forget she's on the FBI's missing child posters. Like FBI has her as missing.
Nikki says, I'm in
nothing.
Utah and I've never heard of this
Wow.
case.
My goodness.
That's the problem with this. That's why we do have a girl that is going Diamond that's in our community. She lives in Utah and she's putting up flyers today.
Yes, and I have people that are willing to go out there to that area and ask questions because in that area I find it odd, right? What occurred in Green River that you come back without her in the next town in the next 2 hours? Something's not making sense to me. And it's not making sense because you have no business out there. What child is going to want to go for shits and giggles to the forest and desert?
Wherever in Nebraska. We're in Nebraska.
Right. What is potentially out there? Thing. Just taking a random ass road trip and you're coming back without your child and it's like, oh, well, there's nothing we can do because you don't have to present her. Hello?
If the school didn't call and report this, we would have never heard about this.
And you know what's wild? Is the school is the one that made contact.
Mm-hmm. October 14th. It was right when she returned, and she returned without Melody. It's like she knew there was going to be alarms set off at the school. that week.
Yes. And where is this child? You had nothing. To go to Nebraska and Utah as a vacation when you roll from Cali sounds like a nightmare. Yes, Oz, exactly. You're going from California because California has places everywhere for children. They have family centers. They have all the fun things, right? But you're on a road trip to where you say you reportedly dropped her off to strangers. Huh?
For no reason, because no one was trying to take Melody.
Yeah, who just wakes up and says, well, I'm going to take my child on a road trip today and drop him off to strangers in 28-hour trip, and we're not going
Change
to be
my
concerned.
wig twice.
But
Change my plate.
she's paranoid enough to lock the door when she goes to check the mail. Like, that doesn't make sense to me.
Right.
Doesn't at all.
She's so paranoid. That's what gets me. Like, I just don't think she would drop her kid off with just anyone.
Right. And you're paranoid about Melody. Melody always, like somebody had said earlier, anytime Melody went out of the house with her, Melody's head was covered with a hood and all kinds of stuff. So you're paranoid enough about that. How are you just going to drop your child off to some random ass stranger in the middle of nowhere and no questions be asked?
Yeah.
Don't you think that in California that would warrant questions to be asked?
I mean, you would think.
We've learned that doesn't happen, though. It was Columbus, Nebraska. That's, I think, where they need it to, for whoever's asking.
Look at this Monroe Peak. That's right before you get to Junction, and look at that town. You can drive literally on top of a mountain up there.
Attorney, we don't know where she was dropped. That's best case scenario. Me personally, I think something far more sinister happened. I don't think anyone has her, sadly.
Yep. Look at that drive.
Is attorney not? Oh, attorney, do you have time to come up? He's a lawyer in California.
Yes. Yes. Can attorney come up?
He's our resident attorney that we use his brain for very frequently. He's the one that told us about this law where you don't have to produce your child if you didn't do anything wrong. Hey, attorney.
Hey, attorney. It's nice to meet you.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. We're just trying to figure this out.
No, I got you. I understand. I mean, when it comes to like the state stuff like this, right? There's only so much that can be done or that can be done within these states, right? Without violating some sort of right to privacy. If she's left with the child and took them out of the state, which she is absolutely able to do, came back without the child, which again, she's absolutely allowed to do, and drop them off somewhere, right? That it's not going to force local law enforcement in California to do anything about that. Like they just can't just sit there and harass her if they don't have some sort of suspicion or some sort of evidence that a crime had actually been committed. For the state, all they know is she left California with the child, according to, they said, these like 3-letter agencies, and like photos that we've seen. Like, I know that we've seen photos and videos of her in like various states with Melody in, I can't remember what state. I want to say Utah, but it's been a while since I've looked at this. I know that she's been spotted in other states outside of California. So there isn't really anything like that California could do with this. Like, there just isn't anything there.
Right.
What about the school piece, though? Like, if she does, is it criminal for her to not enroll her into school?
If she pulled her out of school and just took her somewhere else, no, there's no problems there at that point.
Wow.
Well, yeah, she didn't even sign her up. She didn't even register her for school, though, for 2025 in California when she lived there. So the school is the one that reported her missing in the first place.
Right.
Right. And so that would be, it's not, I don't want to say it's not a crime because I mean, it's not a crime like a criminal action. It's more of a civil, like a child protective services action. Like you're dealing with that side of the law versus any kind of criminal action.
So how in the world can they, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, even within, like, hey, so we've got this child missing. Can Utah not get involved?
You mean though Utah, because what I think the last, that I heard about this, at least before all the stuff in Michigan happened, was that she was dropped off at like a commune there. Is that what we heard there?
A Mormon family that she met at a zoo, allegedly.
Is that is a wild set of circumstances there.
Right, because the question,
Yeah.
my thing is can't Utah get involved and say, hey, well, who is this Mormon family? What is their names?
So Utah could work and handle searching, but then it becomes, if they're trying to like actually get her out, get her from California for some sort of questioning again, they would have to have some sort of uh,
Thank you,
belief or
Jessica.
some sort of
We got
evidence that
31
there
minutes left.
is, or that there was something that had a crime had been committed that they can, pull her, extradite her into Utah for the purposes of this. And right now, they don't have anything.
So that ain't even raising concern. Like, my concern is like in California, you're coming back with without your child. And when you're coming back without your child, it's like, okay, well, what happened to your child? Who is this Mormon family you allege to drop her off at? And that raises a big red flag. And I understand, like, the laws in California is like, oh, well, you don't have to produce your child if you're over here saying you just dropped her off somewhere, but you're not giving anybody any closure of knowing where you dropped her off or who has her. So at this point, how can it become criminal?
Let me back up. Like, this is just any state. Like, if you can pull your child out of school, just leave. Take them somewhere else, drop them off somewhere else, right? Take them to a boarding school. Do all of that. You're not required to notify people of what you're doing with your own family members. You know what I mean? Like,
Right. You're
it really
not
draws
required to say, "Hey,
into.
I'm going on vacation."
Right, like you're not, right, exactly. Like you're not required to do any of that stuff. So like the idea that like she left the state of California with with her child, and said came back without her child again, like nothing illegal has happened in the state of California. So there's nothing that California could do. And I would be hard pressed to believe that any other state in the union would have something that says, hey, you left and then you came back, but a family member, a child, whomever is missing, we're going to dig through your life until you tell us where this is. Like, I don't have to tell you that. Like, I
Well,
don't have to tell you that.
right,
I
like,
mean,
I don't got
even
to
when the
tell you
school
that, but
though,
the internet, listen, the internet sleuths will get you to answer that, okay?
But what I'm saying is that what we see here, like this is, I understand why people are worked up about this. Like I totally get it. What my concern in this kind of stuff, when this kind of stuff kind of pops off, is there's a demand to know, and then there becomes well, why aren't there things in place to create, this and create either legislation or laws around like people should know about this. And then it becomes we are circumventing all of the different rights that you have to privacy. And then it becomes something way worse and way more malignant than anything that we were trying to do. Like we had good intentions, but as the saying goes, the road to hell is paved with good intentions.
but why?
That is my big issue with kind of the way the discussion has just gone. I obviously believe that, we should be able to do everything that we can to find if there's something that terribly, that has happened, that we should be able to, resolve this and people, face the consequences that they should. But
Right.
at the same time, what I don't want to do is to create situations in which we give up, some of the things that, we hold so dear to ourselves, because of very rare and, unfortunate circumstances. I don't want to create legislation or find ways to just remove privacy because, this particular thing happened. What I don't want to do is in the future, if I leave my state and I go to a family in, say, Tennessee, and I drop my child off there in Tennessee and I leave them there for a couple of months, I don't want the state banging down my door demanding to know where my child is. They don't
Right.
have
And see,
the
no,
right to
they
know
have
that
the rights.
information.
Yeah, they have the rights. And I don't think putting in a law like that is beneficial, because that's going to upset the nation of people that, people do take off with their children. And if they didn't want their child, they drop them off to a safe location. Cool. I just feel in this case, in my mind and in my, like, racking my brain, I'm like, if she would just say, hey, I took her here. This is the name of the people. This is where they have her. The case closed. She's safe. We're good.
She's on the missing FBI's list though. Why would they list her as missing if
At
they
Right.
risk.
didn't know she was missing? That's my
Right.
thing. Like the school, okay, so attorney, even if I took my child to Tennessee and dropped them off to be with family members, he's still required to be in school, correct?
I mean, it just depends on. I don't know what the laws are in Tennessee, but what we'll say is that okay, so it's on one of 3-letter agency is handling this. Then we're good here. Like there are federal agencies that are handling this. Like there isn't this comes back to me. Basically, the argument that I'm making is there's no need to create new legislation in which we are invading our own privacy rights for the sake of something like this that is a very rare and again unforeseen circumstance. Like that's like the base argument that I'm making is
Right.
that
Could I just
it's
ask?
it. Yes.
Yeah, no, and I get that. But so what you're saying, I'm just trying to process this if it's registering right or not for me. Are you saying in USA or wherever you legally are not required to enroll your child in school?
No, that's not what I said. What I said was, if I am if I'm taking my child from one place to another, I drop them off, let's say with a family friend, or I drop them at a boarding school or wherever, and I come back. I don't need this wherever state that I live in to be beating down my door demanding to know where my child is. They don't have any right and any business to be intruding on that particular aspect of my life. I haven't committed any crime. I haven't done anything. I took my child to live with a different family member. I dropped them off when I came back home. I don't need to tell them that. They don't need to know that. So that's what I am saying. Like if they want to do their own investigation, because I know you guys like Naps, Ali, Ellis, you guys know my position on this. I don't talk to police. You should never talk to police. I'm not talking to any
Right.
police,
Yeah.
federal agents, whatever. Like that's just how I am. So if they're coming to talk to me about this, I'm gonna tell them to kick rocks. But they can also just call whatever and figure everything out and do it all on their own. I'm not talking to them. So but the way I will always look at this, right? I'm looking at this from the perspective of, what
The
is,
law.
I'm looking at this from the perspective of law, but I'm looking at this also from the perspective of, anybody who gets kind of trouble. I'm not talking to police. Y'all figure it out.
Right. But I'm not understanding. You said she didn't have to enroll her in school. And that's where I guess me and K Snaps were confused because I thought you have to enroll them in school. It's not even like she said, I'm homeschooling her. She just didn't enroll
Right.
her properly.
If I said that, that's a mistake. I don't remember saying that. I think I was saying specifically if she was moving
Depends
from
on the
one place to
state,
another.
right? I think
Yeah,
you said
like
depends on the state what laws, but I think that it's
okay.
a federal kind of thing, right? It's like a state
I mean,
wide.
it was. So what I will say is that it was federal when we had a Department of Education.
Yeah.
That
Sadly,
changed. I
Well,
see.
let's look
Okay.
up the law in Utah. Are you required to enroll your child in school? We should look at that because now it's state to state is they have their own choices.
Right? They have their own choices of this. And it's wild to me that, like, yeah, I get it. You don't have to produce your child. You can say, hey, listen, it ain't none of your damn business. And they're not really going to do that. They'll just get involved and they'll try to figure it out. But it's like pushing on 2 months. Next month will be 3 months that this child has not been seen or heard from. Uh, and allegedly is with a Mormon family randomly. Is there not a way that California can contact Utah and say, hey, we just want to make sure the child's safe. She's good. We understand that Ashley is saying she dropped her off with a Mormon family randomly. Can we just verify that instead of getting too much into it? Because I feel like the time goes on. Are we ever really going to find her?
they're not going to be able to do that unless they have some evidence or some reason to believe that some sort of criminal activity
Can
has
they
occurred.
test
And
that car?
even if they
They
did
have.
have that, it wouldn't be California doing that. This would be, because it's across state lines, this would be more of a federal agency versus state agencies kind of handling these things.
And they've searched her house twice,
And
attorney.
the storage.
And
Yeah, they
storage
did.
and the car. Like they've gone through the lengths of doing that. That's what I'm saying. Like it just
And
doesn't
there was
seem like
nothing picked up on that car?
no, not that they've told us.
Yeah. And do you find it odd that it says on the three-letter agency site that she's at risk? Like, what does that tell you?
That she's, I think it cut out a little bit, that she's what?
It says she's at risk.
She's at risk. So the whole thing is odd to me. Like, I
Thank
would
you,
think at this
Anda.
point that a federal agency would have apps already just, taken her into custody at this point. That's what I would have thought already, that there would have been an arrest done with the federal agency. But the fact that she's still on a missing persons list,
Anda.
and the
Right.
federal agencies haven't gotten anything or haven't found anything, or at least as they've released, whatever information that they have to the public, that they haven't found or released anything on this. Like, that whole thing is wild to me. That I don't understand. Like, that's very odd to me. I
Right.
can
Like,
only
I
explain just
just
on the
worry
state
because we
stuff.
have this child, God knows where, and we have her out. You took her to a middle of no man's land. What if you set her out and this child hasn't found her way? You can only go so long without eating or drinking.
Yeah, it sets a child up to be. I mean, Lori Daybell is the only thing that can come to my mind. They didn't look. They didn't have her produce her child for a long time. So like it just
Yeah.
doesn't make sense to me. And not only that, but like the fact that the FBI has the three-letter word has her missing on her thing. The fact that she is saying to someone that she just dropped her off with, I don't know. I don't know. It's just so. This is where we were at before Rebecca Park came into our lives, and I was like, I don't know.
Thank you,
I don't
guys.
know.
No,
Right.
the whole thing is weird. Like I said, the whole thing is where what my arguments or my big things were, right? When we're talking about why aren't the states necessarily doing things?
Anda.
It's like, that's really what I'm just, like, clarifying, is that
Thank you, Ashley.
once things get moved into different locations, then it becomes, all right, now we have federal things that are happening, or federal agencies should be involved. And, the states can't intrude onto other states, because of sovereignty, right? Like each state is its own thing and they have their own police forces and they kind of handle all their own things. So, while they can work together with stuff, right? Like California just can't kind of, for the lack of better term, just waltz into Utah and be like, where's the child? Like they can't do that. And the same thing for any other state, right? Like, Utah couldn't just barge into California and be like,
But
give
since
us the
it was
crazy
across
wig
state
lady. Like,
lines,
can't do that.
since it was across state lines and the 3-letter words involved, can they not inquire Utah to check this Mormon family?
No, 100%. They can. But they would have to have some sort of belief or something that says that a crime has been committed. And while there are, like I said, I think that there's something that they're not sharing with us. Like I truly believe that there's something that they're just not sharing with us, and they're just not releasing any of this information to the public because they have her as a missing person. They haven't, that she's at risk, and we have heard nothing in almost 3 months.
Isn't it?
They have to have done. They have to have something.
Isn't it weird though that they wouldn't? So they say that they saw her in Junction, Utah, right? And then 2 hours later in Green River, she's gone. But
Thank
they
you,
didn't
Ashley.
say, they have not released what she was wearing, which is like crucial information. Like, what was the child last seen wearing?
Right? What was she last
Right.
wearing, and who the hell made contact? And where's this
No, that's super
purple-haired
weird.
lady?
Yeah, the
Are
purple
we
hair.
sure that just wasn't her with the wig?
That's we speculate that it was because we don't know the situation of whether they went in or the lady just kind of looked out and saw Melody maybe wearing a purple haired wig.
Right? But Melody wasn't seen wearing one when she got from the car rental.
Also, they didn't take bags really with them. They didn't have like
Right.
bags that you would take for a trip when they went to the car place.
If you was giving your child off to somebody, you would have a suitcase for her, right? You would have her stuff.
Unless they went back to the house, but sorry, Chastity, go ahead.
No, honey, you're okay. In case snaps, you guys and LS would probably know this better. So, have you guys dug into Melody's dad from before when him and Ashley were married and them having contacts in Utah?
Yeah, so they were never married.
Oh, I thought they were married.
And then Melody's dad passed away when Melody was 6 months old.
Right.
So we've talked to Karina, who is Melody's half sister, who is like, we know nobody in Utah. Melody or Ashley's mother did an interview. We should play that too, LS. But Ashley's mother did an interview, and what'd she say? Something like, I hope
she has ties to the dad's
ties.
side, right?
Yeah.
I meant to ask her, it said on a news article that her dad was buried in Utah and they passed through there. Is that true?
No, the dad is buried in California.
What they said, or what they reported, I think it was Bill, that the PI that did it, and you said on the way back he has reason to believe when Ashley stopped at the gravesite that Melody was with her, and that's in California.
Okay.
So his new thought is that they came back to California magically, but we don't know if that's confirmed.
Yeah, there was a whole PI that went to Utah, and the people in Utah were like, "Get out of here. We don't want you here."
Okay,
so that
I'll
was
have to
like
talk to Steph, because when we first talked about this, I could have swore that we found ties in Utah to the dad from back in the day.
What was Dad's name?
Yeah, I would love to get Steph, because you guys were talking about this, right?
Let me send Steph a text.
Yeah,
Hold
let's.
on.
Because I think. Go ahead.
No, sorry, because I remember us talking about it because it was such an oddly place, and I'm like, because we found out too that Ashley had changed Melody's
Rhonda.
last name after he passed. Because Melody used to have his last name.
From what Karina said, she's never had his last name. I believe, like when they put her in the obituary, they just put her name as her last name there.
I just
as
asked Steph
his.
to come in here and see what she.
That's what Karina. So we're just going based on what Karina has said. We haven't really looked too much into that, but she said that there. I believe she didn't. Isn't that what she said, LS?
Yeah, she said she's always had that last name.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. Is there any big C activity in Utah in the 800 people that live there?
To
Well,
me,
from my understanding, there are motorcycle people that they were involved with.
oh, okay.
And so
Hold
if you know
on.
where I'm going, Dora,
I know exactly where you're going.
she could have been, if she was scared for some paranoid reason that Melody was going to be taken, if she still had those kind of ties with them people from him, they would absolutely have taken her in and hid her.
But the
100%.
the allegation though was that the dad's side of the family was trying to take her back. So then why would she give Melody to stranger
She would do it
motorcycle
just.
people?
Because they would protect her at all costs, and you wouldn't know it. And she
Correct. They
wouldn't
would.
talk.
They would shelter protection of her
Mhm.
nationwide.
Yes, and they would not talk. And I can tell you right now, Ashley would not
You
say that
ain't
that's
getting
where.
shit because trust me, a friend of mine is a part of those, and you ain't getting shit.
Yeah, that was my thought when we was originally talking about this, and we kind of found out some history about the dad, and I'm like, that's exactly where my head went.
With that part of the community, it is. I know nothing. I see nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Utah, like that area in Utah, I don't know. Is there like a Mormon motorcycle area? This is
Well,
new.
I'm not even. I was kind of looking. Not specifically right in that technical
Hold
area,
on.
but around, definitely could have been a meetup place. You know what I'm saying?
I'm sorry,
Because she
Mormon Michael
wasn't at that
motorcycle
site
gangs.
long.
Yeah, with what do you call her? Ice Age Spice.
This is chaos. I think, is this not a musical now at this point? Mormon motorcycle gangs.
I
Well,
totally made
no,
that up.
I'm not saying the Mormons. I'm saying that would have been that would have been a
So
location.
there is one in Green River,
Yes, there is, and that's what I'm saying. That would have been the other location. Would have been
and it's
like
called Sage Riders.
it would
It's
have been
What
a
called
is
what?
it?
You
place.
cut out.
It's called Sage Riders, and they're a sanctioned club.
Fascinating.
Just my theory
Call
with
the
it. I
feds.
mean,
Give them
I'm,
that tip.
I had
Yeah,
to look
that's
further than I had to look back, like what their connections were
Thank you, BC.
before he passed. You know what I'm saying? Like I had to look further back.
yeah. I think that we didn't think that way because from all accounts she tried to keep, I mean, she told his family that she was adopted out because she had lost custody of her for a while.
Right.
Oh,
And she
Yeah.
this
was
one is
with
this
she was
one
with
is
the dad's brother for a while and then went to live with one of Ashley's friends and then Ashley told them that
okay. This is for
he was
you.
adopted.
Right, but you guys are missing my point down in the chat. The family wouldn't necessarily be associated with those people. I'm saying the dad back in their day, you know, before Melody was even born or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm thinking back to the connections she could have had further back and still been in touch with.
Yeah, this one's for youth, guys. It's like a youth club. Hold on, let me see. Mm, yeah, I know what Chastity's going with this because you're not seeing nothing, saying nothing, not a fuck thing. You ain't getting nothing.
I
Yeah,
just go
that's
back to the fact that she's just so paranoid, and like I just don't see her dropping her off with anybody. Do you, K Snubs?
that's the thing that is for me is like the paranoia, but
Mhm.
and it more so was directed with like the random Utah family at a zoo. I just think that she's too paranoid for that, but at the same time, if she knows these motorcycle people, then
Well,
that might be a different story.
and so I also, when me and Steph were talking about it too, that Ashley hadn't always been this paranoid. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
What has struck her paranoid?
Right.
In
Yeah.
my opinion, it was to me the way it looks. If it is true that she has like schizophrenia, allegedly bipolar, those meds make you gain a lot of weight. And when she
Mm-hmm.
was semi-normal, she was heavier. She
Mm-hmm.
in the interaction with the with Melody as a kid, she seemed normal. So I think maybe she's off of them, and we know that in the past when she was off of them, she wasn't a fit parent. I'm
Right.
thinking maybe that's where the paranoia is coming in and all this.
Oh, and absolutely. Yeah.
Annie.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I did pull up the Meza last name in Fresno, California. There were a couple arrests in a motorcycle gang.
And actually, we were so same thing with us. K snaps and we when we were working on this, then
Hey, Bunny.
Becca happened. So it was kind of like, stop. You know what I mean? And we were looking into that last name in Utah, and we actually did find
Same, Amanda.
connections, but I can't remember what it was, and I didn't write it down. And now if I did, I don't even know where it would be. So I would have to go back and I would have to try to find it again.
Yeah, I mean that I think that's an option that we haven't even.
Explored.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
will say I did look. So when Bill Garcia was getting aggressively like kicked out of this area, I looked up the population, the demographics. It was like 100% Caucasian. So
Yes.
I don't know if Meza is Caucasian. I thought he was Hispanic.
Mm-mm.
Um,
What was the name of that other town? Not Green River, but
Junction.
Yeah.
Junction.
Because honestly, it could be anywhere between Green River and Junction.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, that's where I'm looking.
Yeah. So my message I left you, Dora, will now make more sense. When you read it. Because I didn't want to interrupt you guys.
No,
They
yeah, I'm
do
glad that
have
someone else is
they do have an all women's.
like boarding school.
No, club.
Oh,
Like I said, I started thinking out of the box because for my first thought to go to something nefarious happened to her and she put her somewhere. I wanted to look.
But they would have picked that up from the scent of the car.
Right, that's what I'm saying. And so then, like, when we got to talking about dad and her, when they were together and, certain things started coming up, and I'm like, honestly, if she still had connections and depending on how connected he was, they would always look out for her
Right,
and her
Oz. Right.
child.
Yes, they would 100% because I'm going to tell you right now, a buddy of mine is a part of a well known with the Angel's Word,
Mm-hmm.
and they are here to protect
Yeah,
100%. If a fight breaks out, they fucking you up.
yeah. My
If
husband
a
has.
child is in danger, they're going to protect that child. They're going to protect her with all cost.
Yeah, my husband has a buddy that's connected in with all that, and that's why I was like, well,
I
that would
just
make
found an
100%.
sense.
article. Oh my goodness, I just found an article in 2019. Mormon Motorcycle Club hold Utah rally. This was posted in
Oh, when I
2018.
tell you they're
See,
there
I
to
didn't just make that
protect,
up,
they're
even though
like,
I just
when
did.
I tell you they're very protective people, they're amazing. In that sense, they will protect you. When they say, I will protect you, they mean that.
Yeah.
They're sworn by that.
And that would be another reason for her not literally to talk, period. Like, you would not get it out of her.
I'm
No.
more fascinated about the Mormon Motorcycle Club. Can you tell us more, Allie? It exists.
Yes. Okay. A Mormon Motorcycle Club is holding a gathering. It was formed through the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints to ride with the group. A highlight of the rally. Just to be courteous, it was founded in 1988 by two couples who are members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints who wanted to enjoy the freedom of motorcycling without the typical biker image. There are 500 members and 22 chapters nationwide.
And think
See,
about it
attorney, it wasn't
too.
me. I didn't make it up. It was real all along.
We really do not have a
That is insane.
picture of her right now that we can actually look at her and pass her on the street and say, oh my God, that's her. We don't have that. It is so much easier for them to hide her.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And they would do that at all costs. Like, they would protect her. I don't know.
This
It's
is
just
true.
another avenue to look down,
No,
so to
like
speak.
I agree with Chastity. This is true. They will protect your entire life if that means bloodshed for their own self.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're there to protect, and they do an amazing job. Look at the time something broke out. Bikers across the nation flew there to protect a
Yes.
community of people.
And with Ashley being in the paranoid state that she's in, they they even more so would take her and protect her even for her safety from her mother being so paranoid. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
You go
Yeah.
get help, you go get the help you need, she'll be here and she'll be safe, but you definitely need to go get help.
right. And that could be potential, like especially if she's paranoid and she's thinking of something. They're like, okay, well, exchange. We'll take care of her, and you do your thing and go get your shit right. But we'll make sure she's looked after. Like, you know what I
Exactly.
mean?
Yeah.
Could they be held response or like,
Because I'm going to tell you something about those
sorry.
clubs. They take children seriously, very serious.
Let's say they are found, or she's found with one of these people. They could be held liable, right, for harboring essentially, someone that's on an FB list.
Right, exactly, Norma. Norma says I'm a part of a club and we protect from real danger.
But if the
100%, they're
three-letter
called for that.
agency is asking for people to come forward, they could be in big trouble if they don't, right?
Not essentially, not if she actually just dropped them off to somebody and she's saying, hey, I dropped them off, like attorney said, I dropped them off to a family friend and it ain't none of your damn business.
And it
So
also could explain too maybe why they're being so
Facts, Norma.
tight-lipped.
Facts. That's what I was saying, Norma. Because they're there to protect, and like if they're there and they feel like, say if Ashley called somebody up that's a part of a club and says, okay, I need my child brought to safety. I need my child. They're going to take that child in 2.2 seconds and say, here I am. I'll protect her. And they're not going to risk themselves for some bullshit. They ain't doing all that.
And I think it would have kind of also maybe explain why things are tight-lipped the way that they are, and they're not really saying anything because maybe possibly they know it.
They're not going to protect, like, say if Ashley, did some shit or done some shit. They're
No.
not going to throw themselves in the line of fire for Ashley's bullshit. They're going to take that child in and protect her from harm's way, 100%. They're going to take her in and say, you know what, like, we're only protecting her from immediate danger is what I was advised, and we're here to protect. They're not going to, because they're very great about working with law enforcement. If law enforcement asks something, they're going to be honest about it. They're not going to go down for some bullshit that somebody else is telling them, or some bullshit that somebody, you know what I'm saying? They're not going to just say, oh, okay, let me put myself in the line of fire because you giving us some type of shit that you're. No, they're there to truly protect from immediate danger.
It's kind of like with a GANG. The GANG itself is not inherently illegal. It's the acts that they do that are inherently illegal. And
Correct.
they have fall individuals that actually jump in and do things. The whole crew's not necessarily going to go down, right? Most likely nobody's going to even know who's at the top or who, all those things. So
Yeah, they're very
the
silent. They're
clubs,
not going to tell you everything they're doing. They're not going to
right.
come publicly and say, okay, we have her. No. If they're going to tell anybody, they're going to speak with law enforcement. They're going to do things. You won't know any of that stuff. The only reason why they're there is to protect from immediate danger. They're not going to put themselves in a situation where they say, okay, let me get involved in this type of situation and let me go down for some bullshit. No, they're not doing all that. Nope.
I don't know. I still don't see that with the three-letter agency being involved, that they would be able to move like this so secretly. Like, I get that they won't come forward, but there could be big risks if they are just staying silent with her.
Well, if there's a connection, they wouldn't. They would just be like, oh, okay, all right, you got her, you're good, she's safe. And not update things till they get it truly investigated.
Well, and the three-letter agencies are not going to move on anything unless they have everything that they need, which is why they don't prosecute unless they know that they can absolutely unequivocally win that case.
Exactly. So if it's something in a case like, oh, she's dropped off to even a club of people, they're protecting her. All they have to say is, okay, we have her. She's safe. We were asked to keep her by her mother. Her mother confirms that silently, or don't even have to confirm that. And bam, there's nothing, they're not going to move until they have solid evidence that she's in harm's way.
They would still post on their website that she's at risk and missing.
Yes, until they have everything gathered. They'll leave it there until everything is gathered in that case.
Yeah, they can put out that press release. And they often
Yep.
do especially on the DOJ website. They'll say, hey, we got this information and, this is an active investigation. Again, they have to put out whether or not it's an active investigation so that individuals understand and know, too, that certain things are not going to apply under FOIA or open records because people are going to try, especially like those that are trying to investigate it on their own are going to try to request certain documentation. They're not going to be able to release it because it's an open investigation. So there's certain verbiage and stuff they have to put out, but they don't have to give all of the info that they have on their end.
Correct. They don't have to give out what they know so far. They can only know like certain details. And when it comes to the youth, I'm going to tell you that a lot of things are tight-lipped when it comes to the youth, because that youth is they take children seriously. And if a child is being harmed, they take that shit very seriously.
And when I'm talking, I'm referring to the ABC agencies is what the three-letter agencies is what I'm referring to. And as far as that goes, as far as like the clubs and stuff like that go, they have their own internal, policies, procedures, whatever that they operate off of typically.
Yes, they take it very seriously when it comes to a youth of a child or a child being in danger. It is very tight-lipped. You won't know anything until and if they are cooperating and say for instance that a club has her, right? And she was dropped off by Ashley. They're going to protect her at all cost. And if there's questions arises, they will cooperate. They will say, "Hey, it just really depends. It depends on the situation at hand." Um, it's not going to be one of those things. It's like, okay, here I am in the forefront. I have her. No, no, absolutely not. Nope. It's very odd, and it's strikingly odd that I don't know, but potentially the biggest thing that I question in the back of my mind is who is connected to Ashley at the current time and who would have been possibly or potentially in the vicinity at that time that Melody did not no longer come back with her from Green River. So something happened from Green River to Junction. And there's 3 state parks along that route. National parks, 3. Thank you guys. 3 of them. And what I'm looking at, they're all off the side of the road. So did she pull over? Did she? Because I think if she would have harmed her in that car, the dogs would have picked up on that. They would have picked up on that already. If that car has been swabbed and tested, they would have tested for the red stuff. They would have picked up something like, yeah, they probably picked her up being in the car because, of course, she was in the car. But the red stuff and things like that would have had to be detected if she was put in harm's way in that car. So was this a case where she just set her out somewhere or gave her to somebody? Right, Oz. The changing of the license plate. Why would you need to do that? If you didn't want to be, you know what I mean, along the route.
Or if you didn't have help, because we looked at the registration for that, and it's a New York. It's registered to a New York Subaru, and it was just registered in August.
Right. So why would she need to change the license plate along route?
I mean, if she's schizophrenic, then, she could believe there's all kinds of crazy stuff happening to her when in actuality there isn't really anything going on. And that would just cause her to do things that are erratic. As someone who, like I have plenty of folks who are in that kind of mental health kind of issue, those could fall in those categories. Like they are not the most rational thinkers.
Right. They're not
Absolutely.
very
And
rational.
it's not just hallucinations. It's like they are truly thinking and those thoughts take over any
Right.
rational reason.
Those thoughts take over like somebody is really out to harm them. And there could be nobody. And that's we got to consider that in this case as well. But like, what causes you to drive this amount of hours to turn around and come back and you're home by the 10th? You've changed license plate. Melody's not showing up. It's like in our minds, we want to go every scenario possible, right? Like, we're like, okay, who's involved? Who was there? Who was like around? But what could have potentially occurred within this road trip? It's weird to me.
So someone in the comments said we heard a recording. She's not that far gone. I'll tell you, I am not a mental health professional. I just have the opportunity to handle clients who fall into these categories, and they have these moments of clarity where they could be very clear with what it is that they're talking about, discussing for 30 minutes, an hour, whatever. And it could just be one phrase that just turns them, that just completely flips them, and then they
Absolutely.
completely start talking about something else.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah, I have
yeah,
not
they
heard that
we could
before.
absolutely have heard that recording, and it sounded good, and everything was good. But maybe outside or maybe within a different environment, they just have a completely different response to that
Yes,
environment. So I wouldn't take the recordings as she is good.
right. I never thought she was good in the recording either. Like I myself, attorney, I have a friend that is schizophrenic, and I'm going to tell you, I've been friends with her for over 10 years. And I know when she's manic and when she's not. Like she can talk to me just like I'm talking to you right now, and we can have a nice conversation. And one word completely set her off, and she will go on out in the woods. She goes hiking. One night I found her on a hiking trail because she took off.
Jeez.
You know what I mean? And I had to go out at 2 o'clock in the morning because I didn't know where she was. And she was manic. She went into a manic, full blown manic state and took off.
Yeah, my brother-in-law hopped a freight train because of it and ended up in Virginia from Jersey. They just
Yes.
go.
Yes, you never know. Like I could absolutely talk to her 1 minute. We can laugh, have a great time, and then one little thing completely set her into a manic state, and she will do the most outrageous stuff that you can think of. It'll be random. Next
That's
thing you know, she's booking
terrifying.
tickets to 5 towns over somewhere. You don't never know what when they're manic, they can act normal. It's not defined like, yeah, she's sitting here talking saying, "Hey, I'm very intelligent." They are intelligent. Some people are very extremely intelligent, but they can also be manic too.
Hmm.
It's just literally depends, but my mind keeps going to what could possibly have happened. I don't think she did something in the sense of in the car. I just don't. They would have picked that up. They would have known something right then, and that would have provoked them to say, "Hey, let's do this search. Let's charge her." Because if they would have
Yeah, would
had,
have given her them probable cause
yes,
for
that would have
something
been the probable
deeper.
cause right there.
Attorney, I have a question. How were they able to search her home, her storage, if there was no crime that was committed?
Well, didn't they search all of her things based on the arrest for the false imprisonment?
No, that
No.
happened before.
One was before, then the two after. So when they did it twice was after.
They searched her home fully way before any arrest, way before
Hmm.
anything that happened with Tyler.
They searched the home way before that. I mean, they would have gotten a warrant. They would have had some probable cause to search at that point. I will say I don't know all of the that far back. I only just understand from I think the initial arrest is when I kind of jumped on this or was introduced to this. So I don't know all of the details that happened at that time. But I mean, they could also search if she allowed them to do that. They could go over there and ask, "Hey, we'd like to search," and if she gives consent, she can absolutely do that.
Right. They can ask to search the property without having a probable cause. They can just say, "Hey, can we search this?" And if she says, "Yeah, cool," but did we think that she said
The
that we
only
did?
exception to that is if they have some sort of exigent circumstance or imminent danger that they can prove to get past that. But again, then that's going to create that's going to go hand in hand with the probable cause or the totality of the circumstances. So they either have to have the probable cause, they have to have an exigent circumstance or imminent danger in order to get past that. If they don't have that, or they have to have the warrant or her permission. Those are the only options that they have in order to get in there. If not, then it would be of essentially a Fourth Amendment violation. But
Case Snaps and LS. I have a website pulled up here from the Santa Barbara, California, Santa Barbara Sheriff's Office. And it says investigators believe the Malibu traveled through the following areas on October 9th: Green River, Utah; Panguitch, Utah; Northwest Arizona; Primm, Nevada; and Rancho Cucamonga, California.
Yeah, that's the return route.
So the return route, she even went to Arizona.
Yeah, she took the weirdest way possible.
Yeah. It's like the top half of Arizona in the Cali. It's so weird.
But I'm just like not clear on the whole, like the feds are the ones who did the search. So like do they just have, dominance in these jurisdictions where they could just be like, "Oh, this looks sketchy, let's search inside your
What is
house."
this
I
Panguitch,
I
Utah?
doubt she would allow that. I doubt she'd be like, "Yes, come in."
That's why I'm saying there has to, like an attorney said, there has to be either a warrant, or they have to have something that prove that they would be able to prove is some sort of an exigent circumstance that falls under one of the exceptions for a warrant, which is again depending on the jurisdiction, and then you have to look at the jurisdiction, right? So California is, you know, fortunately very lax about that in terms of their court precedent, but it's still, regardless, the Fourth Amendment's going to still trump. But what was the where can I look at what the circumstances were that surrounded the search, and then I can possibly have more detail. I can even send it to an attorney too, so he can look at it also. But
They're
There's
tight-lipped.
not,
We have nothing.
yeah.
so
It's
they're just
because
saying
it's
we
the
just went in the
FBI.
home.
They haven't even said it. We saw it on camera. Like we saw the neighbor post it, and then it was posted to news sources. There was no actual document, and the police haven't said anything.
You saw them going in and out of the house. And they took her for the night. You saw her get in a vehicle, an unmarked vehicle with a bag.
I would assume that they had a warrant then. That would be my assumption. I
And they
mean,
did it
they're
twice.
yeah,
Sorry,
I would
Maria.
assume that there's a warrant then. If they've been in there that many times, especially if it's the feds going in, I mean
Yeah,
they're working hand in hand with local law enforcement. I mean, it's always going to be a joint task force type situation. There, you know what I mean? Because they're going to have the exclusive jurisdiction. The local law enforcement is going to have exclusive jurisdiction over that, regardless. So it's always going to work. Like, for instance, in Missouri and Texas, typically the local law enforcement contacts the ABCs, right? And then says, hey, we need to bring you in because either they cross state lines or there's some sort of, a federal trigger, which in this case, it would be crossing state lines, especially if she went to another state, right?
right. That's why we think she got involved. They got involved. But in my understanding of what's happening, there has to be some sort of potential crime happening, whether it's part of the exception or the warrant that, there could be something, like just something doesn't add up there.
So on her route home, it says that Panguitch, Utah is where she stopped. Panguitch, Utah is a Mormon town.
The girl with the purple hair was in Junction. I don't know if they have the most updated. I think the three-letter agency has the more updated flyer.
Because this one says Panguitch, Utah is a historic structure community which was settled by Mormon pioneers.
Hold on. Someone just said something in the chat. I want to make something clear. It has been proven, and the Supreme Court has already ruled, you cannot use a welfare check as a guise to do a Fourth Amendment search or seizure. So they can't go in and say, hey, we're here for a welfare check, and then go and start searching parts of the property for other things that fall outside of that welfare check. I just want to clarify that because someone said it could have said something about a welfare check, and they cannot use a welfare check as a precursor for a Fourth Amendment search or seizure.
And what we learned about California being as lax as they are, this is something that would never happen. They can't just be like, hey, we're going to search your house.
Let me be clear. It's not that it would never. Can they
Right.
do it? Of course they can.
Yeah.
Are they allowed to
Insane.
do it? Is a completely different story, right? I mean,
Right.
now you're getting into a civil right violation. You know what I mean?
Right, they can and they do be doing it all the time.
Right, right, exactly.
The federal agency or the California?
but I mean both. Here's what I will say.
Thank you, Amanda.
Local law enforcement is more likely to violate your rights than the feds are. Doesn't mean that they don't do it.
Right. And her route home. So we're potentially Melody was no longer with her. How did we get junction? Is that what they
The girl that saw Jung image of the interview with the girl from the store, the one that owns the store in Junction.
Junction pit stop. Yeah, it was just the employee about the cats.
I did want to add, like I put in the chat, like, you know, I'm all in on this Mormon motorcycle gang. I am always, I am, I am
Can we get a
always
sticker,
trying
Seth?
to. I need a sticker on that, but I am
Yeah.
always here about. I'm always on the positive side of things. I always want to think of the best outcome. So whatever the best outcome is, like the
Mm-hmm.
child is safe. That is my thought. So if you're telling me she dropped off with a Mormon motorcycle gang, that's what I'm going with until I've been told otherwise.
Who would have thought that was a thing?
right? Who would have thought?
Had no
So
idea what was a thing before this morning, and I'm like, oh, okay, all right. I can just imagine them just in their white short sleeve button ups and khakis or black slacks, just on a Harley, like
Outside
protecting
the
everybody.
church.
I'm here for it. Just outside the church, I'm here for it.
I'd
Right.
like to see like the promo flyer, like to join. I can't. When I said it out loud, I'm like, oh, Lilia, you're an idiot. And then people were like, no, that's a thing. I'm like, okay.
They have 500 members.
That's definitely a new one for me. I'm gonna have to look into that. That's hilarious.
yeah, who would have thought that that was even a possibility or a thing?
I mean, out of California, anything's possible. Let's just be honest.
I'm looking.
Honestly, California, between the Emmanuel Haro case and this case, I'm like, what's going on in California?
Dude, I used to live in Corona Hills, so I was in Riverside County.
Oh man, no way.